Obsidian Flames is almost here, and we are looking at all the electric cards in the set today. Welcome to Jank Play TCG. My name's Landon, and here we play Jank. And so, like I said, I'm looking at all the electric cards today. We've already looked at all the grass, fire, and water cards. Today is electric. I'm going through each type, one type per day. And that makes it easier to reference back and all that stuff if you need to. So let's go ahead and get started, right? So I am using the wonderful website, Justin Basil. I find it very useful to look at new cards coming out and everything. And I feel like they've got a real good layout for the card, translation, and getting you the info you want, right? So, first electric Pokemon to look at is Magnemite. Magnemite with a single lightning energy does 10 damage, for 2 colorless does 20. Kinda whatever. Doesn't really matter. I do love that art though. That art is fantastic. Honestly, this whole line has fantastic artwork. Next up is the Magneton with 1 lightning energy doing 30 damage and 3 energy, 1 being lightning, other 2 being colorless, doing 60 damage. Whatever. Now the Magnezone. Magnezone, for a single lightning energy, will do 50 damage. You may have your opponent switch their active with one of their bench. So it does give your opponent control over the switch, but it's may, so you don't have to let them. You don't have to have them do that. It's a choice. But for 3 energy, 1 lightning, 2 colorless, we have 180 damage. This Pokemon also does 30 damage to itself. 180 is not bad. But, you know, I just wish there was a little bit more flavor here, I guess. Pretty straightforward Pokemon, kind of just run-of-the-mill, you know? 180, like I said, is not bad for damage, and a Lightning, double colorless, meaning you can use double turbo energy, which means this is 2 energy attachment. You attach a Lightning energy to your Magnemite, Rare Candy, Magnezone, double colorless, attack. Like, yeah, it's not bad. Next up, we have Tyranitar EX, and we actually haven't seen the previous evolutions yet. We'll be seeing that in soon, like in 2 days, in the fighting type section, I believe. And so we'll just have to wait for that, but we do have the Tyranitar, so let's look at that. For 1 fighting energy, again, Tyranitar being a Terra type, coming through as electric, 1 fighting energy, Mountain Bash, 120 damage. Discard the top 2 cards of your deck. 120 damage for 1 energy is pretty good, especially to hit different weaknesses. For 2 fighting energy, you have Thor's Rampage, probably going to be a different name when it comes here, but it does 150 damage, plus if any of your bench Pokemon have any damage counters on them, this attack does 100 more damage, resulting in 250 damage. Which is phenomenal. Getting damage on your bench Pokemon isn't exactly the hardest thing to do, but, you know, Tyranitar doing 250 damage is just amazing. I absolutely love that, and for only 2 energy, it's a stage 2, and you also have the option to, like, flex in different ways. You can go this Tyranitar EX, you can go the previous Tyranitar that we've seen, the Darkness with the single Darkness energy, route 30 plus 30 for each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. Like, being able to choose between those two and play the right one for the right situation, I don't know, this just seems like a lot of fun. So I do like how Tyranitar EX works here. Next up, we've got Tynamo, Electric, and Electros. So, Tynamo, single lightning energy, 10 damage, 2 energy, 30 damage. Not bad. Electric is 1 lightning energy, 20 damage. Flip a coin. If heads, your opponent's active Pokemon's now paralyzed. Okay, some paralyzation. And then 3 energy, 60 damage. But Electros, single lightning energy. Suction Shock. Switch in one of your opponent's benched Pokemon to the active spot, so it seems like you have control in what comes into the active spot. This attack does 60 damage to the new active Pokemon, then flip a coin. If heads, that Pokemon is paralyzed. that has a lot of possibilities of dragging up a Pokemon, possibly paralyzing it, getting stuck in the active, and doing 60 damage to it. I really like that attack. It's going to be a little hard to use it for so long, but this you can't really build a deck around this Electros. That's my biggest issue here. Stage 2s really need a deck built around them, and you can't really build a deck around Electros. I don't think that's going to happen. It might, especially if we get some diverging evolution lines where you get several different Electros to pick from, and this is just one of them, but right now I'm just not sold on that. For one lightning, double colorless, we have Headbolt 130. I don't know if I said that, but yeah, just not much going on here. Next up, we've got Thundurus. Thundurus with the ability Bad Weather. As long as this Pokemon is in the active spot, prevent all damage done to your benched Pokemon by your opponent's attacks. So a nice way to, prevent damage from hitting your benched Pokemon. But we already have Manaphy, so this might not see any play until Manaphy's gone. But Manaphy won't be gone for another year and a half, I think. So Thundurus is going to be waiting quite a while, and even then, I'd probably only recommend this in a Lightning deck. For 2 Lightning Energy, you do 140 damage. This Pokemon also does 90 damage to itself. I actually do like this. The 2 Energy, 140, 2-hit KOs. You will be KOing yourself, but you're unlikely to survive after doing 90 damage to yourself. You'll have 20 HP remaining. It's interesting, and it might be a decent, just throw it in and hit something big for weakness once sort of thing. So I do like it. I'm wondering how it will be used most effectively. Alright, next up I've got Toxel and Toxicity. Toxel, single lightning energy, 30 damage, 10 to itself. I like that. And then Toxicity, 1 lightning energy, flip a coin. If heads, your opponent's active Pokemon's now paralyzed. Lightning and colorless, 50 plus damage. This attack does 30 more damage for each different type of Pokemon on your bench. So there's 5 different slots. If you have 5 different types of Pokemon on there, that is an extra 150, right? 3 times 5 is 15, so add a 0, that's 150. So 200 damage in a rainbow deck. I like this. I like this a lot. I think it's very spicy. 2 energy, 200 damage, and you gotta play many different types. So, it doesn't say excluding lightning, so you can still have a Toxel or another Toxicity on your bench. So that would be the lightning type. Barrel would be a colorless type for draw. You probably won't want to play School Vet because I would limit your damage a little bit. But I do like this. Getting up to 200 damage, and the fact that it kind of pushes a particular playstyle with the rainbow effect on your bench, I do like this. I think Toxicity could be something very sneaky. You get to play a rainbow of cards, so you get to, pick and choose what types are going to be most important for what matchups and everything. And I am down lower in this. I might have to push up my chair again. But yeah, I do like Toxicity. And then here we see a Pawmot EX, which is interesting, because what other type is Pawmot? Where are its pre-evolutions? I wonder if we're not getting those, or if we just haven't seen them yet. So for 1 lightning energy, zap kick, 60 damage. But for 2 lightning energy, you discard 2 lightning energy from this Pokemon. If you do, this attack does 220 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. So this can hit bench. 220 to the bench is not bad. The fact that it specifically says discard 2 lightning energy from this Pokemon means you can load it up with more and just be ready in the future. When you need to attack, you discard 2. You don't discard all the energy. That's pretty cool. I kind of like this Pawmot. I could see it seeing play once Manaphy's gone. Once Manaphy's gone, bench hitters are going to be way better. And once Rapid Strike Urshifu's gone, which is the next rotation, we might see less reliance on Manaphy. And that could see a rise in bench hitters. If so, Manaphy sees a rise, and then bench hitters see less play, and then Manaphy sees less play, and then bench hitters come back, and it'll be flexing, depending on what your local meta is looking like. So, I don't know, this could be a fun deck. Someone, I think, is going to just surprise us with a Pawmot EX deck, and just run rampant, So, yeah, I like it. Plus, you can always flex into the other Pawmots and forget about bench hitting and just hit the active for 200 plus damage, So, yeah, I like it. So here we've got a triple Tadbulb. Wow. 3 different Tadbulbs for 1 lightning, 1 colorless, 40 damage, then 10 to itself. That's pretty good. Another Tadpole, 1 lightning, attach a lightning card from your discard pile to this Pokemon. Wish it was any of your Pokemon, or even just any of your lightning Pokemon in play. But to this Pokemon, I'm not that big of a fan of. Then lightning, double colorless, lightning ball, 30 damage. Honestly, go with the upper one. And then we have this final Tadpole, 1 lightning, 1 colorless, 20 damage. This attack does 10 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. I like a little bit of spread there. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. And then a couple of Billy Bolts, evolving from Tadbulb. Billy Bolt number 1. 1 lightning, 1 colorless, 70 damage. This attack also does 30 damage to one of your opponent's benched Pokemon. I just don't feel like that's enough damage. 70 on a final evolution just doesn't feel like a lot. And now we have another Belly Bulb with an ability prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks of your opponent's lightning Pokemon. That seems very limiting. It's not going to come up nearly enough in my opinion. So, unless lightning just becomes the best type in the game, yeah, but this Belly Bolt may not see much play. And then lightning, double colorless, 100 damage. This attack isn't affected by any effects on your opponent's active Pokemon. Just doesn't seem good enough, So, sorry Belly Bolt, but no. Next up, the final lightning Pokemon that we do have is Miraidon EX. Miraidon with a single lightning energy quick draw, 20 damage, draw a card, that's not bad. And then 3 lightning energy, 150 damage, attach a basic lightning energy from your discard pile to one of your benched Pokemon. I just don't think it's as good as the Miraidon we already have. I think that's the biggest issue with this Miraidon. The other Miraidon EX, an ability that lets you grab 2 Pokemon from your deck, put them on your bench, like 2 basic Pokemon, and an attack, 3 energy, 220 damage or something like that. Can't attack next turn, but you have 1 retreat. I know this one is free retreat, but yeah, I just don't think it's as good as the one we already have. So the standouts to me are Toxicity, for sure. I think Tyranitar as well. And I might say Thundurus? I'm not sure, though. Not sure about a third standout. But for sure, Toxicity and Tyranitar EX. I think those 2 are the main standouts of the electric types. Let me know down in the comments if you plan on playing any of these electric types, or if I missed some synergy that you see. Also, let me know of that. Are you excited about Obsidian Flames? Because I know I am. And thank you so much for watching. Go ahead and like this video. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the rest of the set review. And be sure to join the Discord, where there's a bunch of amazing people in there just hanging out, having a good time. And you get a little bit more one-on-one time with this guy, me. And of course, until next time, keep playing Jank.